If you have polycystic ovary syndrome, never eat these 5 fruits. They make your symptoms worse. Fast. Are you tired of feeling like your own body is a mystery you can't solve? Do you meticulously plan healthy meals, incorporating fruits and vegetables, only to be met with that familiar afternoon crash, the stubborn weight that won't budge, the frustrating acne, or the disheartening hair thinning? You look in the mirror and wonder what you're doing wrong, feeling completely betrayed by your own biology. It's an exhausting, lonely cycle of trying your best and feeling like you're getting nowhere, constantly battling cravings that feel like a personal failing rather than a biological signal. The good news, and I want you to really hear this, is that there is hope. The confusion you're feeling is not your fault, and understanding is the first step toward regaining control. The right information can illuminate the path, transforming your relationship with food from one of fear and frustration to one of empowerment and healing. In today's video, we're going to pull back the curtain on a topic that is shrouded in misinformation. We will reveal the 5 specific fruits that can unknowingly sabotage your efforts to manage polycystic ovary syndrome, making your symptoms worse, sometimes very quickly. We're not just going to list them, we're going to dive deep into the why behind each one, so you can finally understand the connection between what you eat and how you feel. So stick around, because this isn't just a list of foods to avoid. It's a crucial piece of the puzzle that could fundamentally change how you approach your health and well-being with polycystic ovary syndrome. Before we get started, I'd love to know where you're joining me from today. Drop a comment below and feel free to share one thing you find most confusing about a polycystic ovary syndrome diet. Your questions help shape our community and our future content. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because our mission here is to provide you with the clear, compassionate guidance you deserve, ensuring you never miss a tip that could make a real difference in your life. First, let's talk about the foundational reason why certain foods, especially seemingly healthy fruits, can feel like a minefield when you have polycystic ovary syndrome. To truly understand why some fruits can be problematic, we need to talk about the underlying driver of most polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms, and it's a concept called insulin resistance. I want you to imagine your body's cells are like little houses with locked doors. The energy from the food you eat, which is broken down into glucose or sugar, needs to get inside these houses to be used as fuel. Insulin, a hormone produced by your pancreas, is the key that unlocks these doors. In a perfectly functioning system, you eat, your blood sugar rises, your pancreas releases just the right amount of insulin, the keys unlock the doors, sugar enters the cells for energy, and your blood sugar levels return to normal. It's a beautiful, efficient system. However, with polycystic ovary syndrome, for a large majority of women, these locks on the cell doors have become rusty and stiff. They don't respond to the key as easily. This is insulin resistance. Your cells are resistant to the effects of insulin. So, what does your body do? It doesn't give up. It thinks the problem is that there aren't enough keys, so the pancreas goes into overdrive, pumping out more and more insulin to try and force those stubborn doors open. This creates a state of high insulin levels in your blood, known as hyperinsulinemia. And this is where the cascade of polycystic ovary syndrome symptoms begins. This excess insulin sends a direct signal to your ovaries to produce more androgens, like testosterone. While androgens are normal in women, in excess they lead to some of the most distressing symptoms of polycystic ovary syndrome: cystic acne, unwanted hair growth on the face and body, a condition called hirsutism, and even hair loss on the scalp. Furthermore, these high insulin levels mess with your ovulation, leading to irregular or absent periods, which is the hallmark of the syndrome. And if that wasn't enough, high insulin is also a fat storage hormone. It tells your body to store energy as fat, particularly around the midsection, making weight loss feel like an impossible uphill battle. It also drives inflammation and cravings for more sugary, carbohydrate-rich foods, creating a vicious cycle that is incredibly difficult to break. It is so important that you hear this loud and clear. This is not your fault. You did not choose this. You are not weak-willed or lazy because you struggle with cravings or weight. Your body is operating under a different set of rules, driven by this underlying hormonal imbalance. You are not alone in this. Millions upon millions of women around the world are walking this same path, feeling the same frustrations and navigating the same challenges. This channel is a safe space for you, a place where you can find understanding without judgment, and practical solutions that are rooted in compassion for what you're going through. We are here to decode what your body is trying to tell you. So let's start by looking at that first fruit that can unknowingly be contributing to this cycle. The first fruit we need to discuss might be surprising because it's often touted as a simple, healthy, grab-and-go snack. We're talking about grapes, particularly the sweet, green seedless varieties. They seem so innocent, a small bite-sized burst of sweetness. But for a body dealing with insulin resistance, a bowl of grapes can be like a sugar bomb. The primary issue with grapes lies in their high concentration of sugar, a mix of glucose and fructose, and their relatively low fiber content. When you eat them, that sugar is absorbed into your bloodstream very quickly. Your body doesn't have to do much work to break them down. This rapid influx of sugar causes a significant spike in your blood glucose levels. In response to this sudden surge, your pancreas, which is already working overtime, panics and releases a flood of insulin to try and manage the sugar overload. This massive insulin response is exactly what we want to avoid with polycystic ovary syndrome. It reinforces the cycle of high insulin, which in turn stimulates more androgen production from the ovaries, potentially worsening acne and hirsutism. It can also lead to that dreaded energy crash an hour or two later, leaving you feeling fatigued, irritable, and craving even more sugar to bring your energy back up. Can eating a handful of grapes really have that much of an impact? For a body that is sensitive to sugar, the answer is a definitive yes. Think of it this way. While grapes do contain antioxidants and phytonutrients like resveratrol, for someone with polycystic ovary syndrome, the metabolic cost of the high sugar load often outweighs these benefits. The immediate hormonal disruption caused by the insulin spike can be a significant setback in your journey to manage your symptoms. It's a question of net effect. Is the small nutritional benefit worth the significant hormonal consequence? In most cases with polycystic ovary syndrome, it is not. So, what's the practical application here? This doesn't mean you can never taste a grape again. It's about awareness and strategy. If you choose to have grapes, the portion size must be very small, perhaps just a few. More importantly, you should never eat them alone on an empty stomach. Pairing them with a source of protein and healthy fat, like a small piece of cheese or a handful of walnuts, can help blunt the blood sugar spike. The protein and fat slow down the absorption of the sugar, creating a more gentle rise in blood glucose rather than a sharp peak. However, a much better alternative would be to swap grapes for lower sugar, higher fiber fruits like berries. A cup of raspberries conte, for instance, has a fraction of the sugar and a massive amount of fiber, which is incredibly beneficial for blood sugar control and gut health. But that's just the beginning. The next step is even more powerful and often overlooked, and it involves understanding how even the state of a fruit can change its impact on your body. Before we move on, can I ask you something deeply personal? How many times have you felt utterly alone on this journey, trying to explain your fatigue or your food struggles to friends or family, only to be met with blank stares or unhelpful advice like, just eat less and move more? How many times have you felt like no one around you could possibly understand the invisible battle you're fighting inside your own body every single day? I know how profoundly isolating and painful that feeling is, and I want to tell you with every fiber of my being that you are not alone in this fight. This struggle is real, it is valid, and you are seen here. If this feeling resonates with you, if you've ever felt that loneliness, please leave a comment below that simply says, "I understand this struggle." Write exactly that. Your message won't just be a comment on a video, it will be a signal of solidarity, a beacon of hope for another woman who is scrolling through these comments right now, feeling lost and desperate to know that she isn't the only one. Your shared experience can give her the strength to keep going. Now, let's talk about the second fruit on our list. which is a staple in households all over the world: the banana. Specifically, we need to focus on the very ripe yellow banana with brown spots. While bananas are a great source of potassium and other nutrients, their impact on your blood sugar changes dramatically as they ripen. An underripe, cheer, slightly green banana is full of resistant starch, which is a type of carbohydrate that your body doesn't digest easily. It acts more like a fiber, passing through your system without causing a significant blood sugar spike and actually feeding the good bacteria in your gut. However, as a banana ripens, those resistant starches are converted into simple sugars. That's why a ripe banana tastes so much sweeter. That sweet, soft, delicious ripe banana has a much higher glycemic index, meaning it releases its sugar into your bloodstream much more quickly. For a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome and insulin resistance, eating a ripe banana, especially by itself, can cause a very rapid and significant spike in blood sugar, triggering that familiar cascade of excess insulin release we've been talking about. This can lead to increased cravings, energy dips, and contribute to the underlying hormonal chaos. But wait, aren't bananas a key ingredient in healthy smoothies and a go-to pre-workout snack? Yes, they are. And this is where nuance is so important. It's not about demonizing bananas forever. It's about making smarter choices. The practical takeaway is to choose your bananas wisely. Opt for bananas that are still slightly green at the ends. They might not be as sweet, but they will be much kinder to your blood sugar. And just like with grapes, never eat a banana on its own. The way you combine foods is critical. If you're putting it in a smoothie, make sure that smoothie is packed with protein powder, healthy fats like avocado or almond butter, and fiber from chia seeds or spinach. These other components will slow down the absorption of the sugar from the banana, preventing that dramatic spike and crash. If this detailed breakdown is helping you connect the dots, please take a moment to hit the like button. It's a small action that makes a huge difference in helping our channel reach and support more women who are searching for these answers. The challenge with the next fruit on our list is that it's often disguised as a health food, concentrated into a form that makes it incredibly easy to overconsume. It's something you'll often find in trail mixes, granola bars, and so-called healthy snacks. This brings us to our third category, which is perhaps one of the most deceptive for those with polycystic ovary syndrome: dried fruits. This includes things like raisins, dates, dried apricots, figs, and prunes. We are often told that these are a great natural alternative to candy, a source of fiber and concentrated nutrients. While they are natural, their effect on blood sugar is anything but gentle. The process of drying fruit removes all the water content. Water in fresh fruit provides volume and helps you feel full. When you remove the water, what's left is a very small, dense package of concentrated sugar. Let's take raisins as an example. It's very easy to eat a small box of raisins, which contains the sugar equivalent of a very large bunch of fresh grapes, cherry, but without any of the water and volume to signal to your brain that you're full. You get a massive sugar hit in a very small portion, leading to an incredibly rapid and high spike in blood sugar and a subsequent flood of insulin. Dates are another major culprit. They are often used as a natural sweetener in healthy desserts, energy balls, and smoothies. While they do contain fiber and minerals, they are exceptionally high in sugar. Just 2 or 3 dates can have the same impact as eating a candy bar for someone with insulin resistance. But aren't they a good source of fiber and iron? Can't they be beneficial? Here again, we must consider the dose and the metabolic consequence. While you might get some fiber from dried fruit, the sheer concentration of sugar that comes along with it effectively cancels out the benefit for a polycystic ovary syndrome body. The hormonal disruption from the insulin spike is far more detrimental than the small amount of nutrients you might get. It's like trying to put out a fire with a squirt gun while simultaneously pouring gasoline on it. The practical advice here is to be extremely cautious with all dried fruits. If you use them, they should be treated as a garnish, not a snack. Think 1 or 2 chopped dates in a large salad with chicken and olive oil, not a handful of raisins as a snack. The best approach, however, is to always prioritize fresh, whole fruit over its dried counterpart. The water and fiber in fresh fruit are your allies in managing blood sugar. This distinction is crucial, and it leads us directly to our next point, which is about a fruit that many people consume in liquid form every single morning, believing they are making one of the healthiest choices possible for their body. Our fourth point isn't about a single fruit, but rather the form in which it is most commonly consumed. We are talking about oranges, but more specifically, orange juice and other fruit juices. Waking up to a glass of fresh orange juice has been marketed to us for decades as the picture of a healthy breakfast, a vibrant dose of vitamin C to start the day. Unfortunately, for a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, this morning ritual could be one of the worst things for her blood sugar and hormones. When you take a whole orange and squeeze it into juice, you are fundamentally altering its composition and how your body processes it. You are stripping away the most valuable component for blood sugar control, the fiber. The white pith and the membranes that encase the juicy segments of an orange are packed with soluble fiber. This fiber acts like a net in your digestive system, slowing down the absorption of the sugar, fructose, into your bloodstream. When you drink a glass of orange juice, you are consuming the sugar of several oranges in a matter of seconds, with none of the fiber to slow it down. This liquid sugar hits your system like a tidal wave, causing an immediate and dramatic spike in blood sugar and demanding a huge insulin response from your pancreas. It's essentially no different from drinking a can of soda in terms of its immediate metabolic effect. But what about all the vitamin C? Isn't it essential for immune health? Absolutely, vitamin C is vital. But the delivery system matters immensely. You can get all the vitamin C you need and more by eating one whole orange. When you eat the whole fruit, you are consuming the sugar along with its natural antidote, the fiber. This results in a much slower, more manageable rise in blood sugar that your body can handle without the dramatic insulin surge. The same principle applies to all fruit juices, including apple juice, grape juice, and even the green juices that are marketed as healthy but often have a high sugar fruit juice base. So the practical application is simple and direct. Eat your fruit, don't drink it. Always choose the whole fruit over the juice. If you are craving that orange flavor, try infusing your water with slices of fresh orange, or just peel and eat an orange. This simple switch can make a profound difference in your energy levels, cravings, and overall hormonal balance throughout the day. Now, we have arrived at our final fruit. This one is often considered the king of tropical sweetness, a luxurious treat, but its high glycemic load can be one of the most challenging for a polycystic ovary syndrome body to handle, often leading to almost immediate feelings of bloating and fatigue. And finally, the fifth category on our list includes two incredibly popular and delicious tropical fruits that can be particularly problematic for polycystic ovary syndrome: mango and pineapple. These fruits are beloved for their intense sweetness and unique flavors, often evoking feelings of summer and vacation. However, this very sweetness is a red flag for anyone managing insulin resistance. Both mango and pineapple are very high on the glycemic index, meaning their natural sugars are broken down and absorbed very quickly, leading to a significant and rapid rise in blood sugar levels. A single serving of ripe mango can contain a surprisingly large amount of sugar, and its texture, which is soft and less fibrous than many other fruits, means there is little to slow down this absorption process. Pineapple, while containing the beneficial enzyme bromelain, which can aid digestion, is also very high in sugar, especially when it is very ripe and sweet. For a woman with polycystic ovary syndrome, indulging in a large portion of these fruits can feel like hitting a hormonal self-destruct button. The intense insulin spike that follows can directly fuel inflammation, contribute to weight gain, trigger intense sugar cravings later in the day, and stimulate the ovaries to produce more androgens, which can manifest as worsening acne, oily skin, and other frustrating symptoms. But aren't these fruits packed with vitamins and beneficial enzymes? How can something so natural be a problem? This is the core paradox of nutrition for polycystic ovary syndrome. A food is not just the sum of its vitamins and minerals, It is also about the hormonal message it sends to your body. Yes, mango is rich in vitamin A and C, and pineapple has bromelain. But if the hormonal message sent by the high sugar load is one of chaos and stress, it negates those benefits. For a body with polycystic ovary syndrome, the primary goal must be to stabilize blood sugar and lower insulin levels. Any food that violently disrupts that stability, no matter its other nutritional qualities, needs to be approached with extreme caution. The practical application for mango and pineapple is to treat them as you would a dessert. They are not an everyday fruit for a polycystic ovary syndrome-friendly diet. If you do choose to eat them, the portion size must be very small, perhaps a few small cubes rather than a whole slice or bowl. Critically, they must always be eaten alongside a substantial source of protein and healthy fat. For example, having a few pieces of pineapple with a side of full-fat Greek yogurt and a sprinkle of nuts would be far better than eating it alone. The protein and fat will act as a buffer, slowing the sugar's entry into the bloodstream. Better yet, choosing lower sugar tropical alternatives like papaya or kiwi in small quantities can give you that tropical flavor with a much gentler impact on your blood sugar. If you made it this far into the video, it means you are truly committed to finding answers, relief, and hope for your polycystic ovary syndrome journey. This channel was created for exactly that purpose, to be a guiding light for you, to help you understand the intricate workings of your body, regain a sense of control, and discover solutions that actually work in the real world. You are not alone here. I want you to feel that in your bones. We are building a safe, supportive community where women just like you can find validated information, share their experiences, and feel empowered rather than defeated. This is a space for compassion, for learning, and for genuine transformation. If this is the kind of guidance and support you have been searching for, I invite you to subscribe now and be sure to turn on all notifications. Every single video we create is designed to be another step forward on your path to a healthier, more balanced, and happier you. You deserve to feel good in your own body, and we are here to help you every step of the way.